Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017. Now today is Monday, October 14, 15, 16, 17? Yeah, Monday, October 17. Florida Regionals finished or took place this weekend. It's now over. You guys must know the results by now. I was there. But I am recording this on October 8th, so I don't know how I did at the tournament yet. If you followed me on my social media, Facebook or Twitter, I most likely posted how I did there, either venting about how frustrating I ended up doing, or very happy that I did well. Either way, I'm sure it was a good time. I'm also still in Orlando as I wanted to go to Universal, check out the Harry Potter world thingy and maybe some other things. And yeah, so I am pre-recording this. I hope I did well at Florida. Future Pablo, I hope you did well. And okay, so I probably played this deck or the non-Greninja version of the deck in Orlando. So I wanted to review it immediately afterwards. I doubt I will deviate myself from this list pretty much. So yeah, gonna be revealing all the Greninja secrets, if you will. Okay, so what stands out from the list? We have the standard 4 Talonflame and 3 Froakie. That gives us really good odds of starting Talonflame. A lot of the time we do mulligan a lot, definitely mulligan a lot, but starting Talonflame is really nice. We have our standard 4 Frogadier, 4 Greninja and 3 Greninja Break. And then what stands out here? We have a 4 Sycamore 4N supporter line. That's to maximize consistency, if you will. We have a single Wally's. Now I love Wally's. I loved Wally's even more when I used to play the 1-1 Octillery line. I am also still considering running the 1-1 Octillery line despite me having Talonflame, because running the 1 Remoraid could mean less odds of starting Talonflame, but it's still gonna be like the 4 as if you were running 4 Froakie maybe. So I don't know, I think there's room for adding the Octillery. Now the list is super tight, super tight, that's for sure. What else stands out? We have 4 Seeker, no Ultra Balls, but we do have 4 Dive Balls and 2 Level Balls, 2 Super Rods, 2 Trainer's Mail, which I would love a third one, but it's pretty much not viable at this point in time. Space is really tight. And now this is probably one of the most important cards. I believe that even though Garbodor is paired up with the Mega Pokemon such as Scizor, such as Mewtwo, and there is also a lot of Rayquaza, Faded Town is a really good card. It's a really underrated card, I believe, and running 4 of those pretty much guarantees you're gonna place extra damage counters on your Pokemon's Mega Pokemon. And what does Greninja excel at? Placing extra damage counters. So between Faded Town and Giant Water Shurikens and Moonlight Flashes and Shadow Stitching, the damage starts piling up really quickly. And then add to that the 4 Bursting Balloon, and you get a ton of indirect damage counter placement, which your opponent needs to play around by finding stadiums, by using Lysander, but perhaps by using Lysander they whiff a KO, or they're forced to take a KO and then forced to take the Bursting Balloon damage, etc, etc. All of those factors are something really important to consider, and I believe that combination of cards in both decks makes this really viable. And finally, as far as energy goes, the Worlds list used 2 Splash Energy and 8 Water Energy. I would love to have that 8th Water Energy, but I feel like it's an okay, how would you call it? An okay trade-off, if you will, to sacrifice 1 in order to keep the 2 Splash. I absolutely love the Splash Energy. I feel like it's a really good card. It's really underrated, and when you go second and you start Talonflame and you go fish for the Frogadier and the Splash Energy, like getting the Frogadier after it uses water duplicates almost always gets knocked out. But thanks to a Splash Energy, even prizing a single Frogadier, it can be less troublesome if you do have the Splash. So having that as an option is really nice, and it's also really good for the late game. And there's been very few scenarios where I drew the splash when I really wanted a basic energy to use Giant Water Shuriken from Greninja BREAK. So as you guys know, this is definitely my favorite card, my favorite deck in quite a long time, and I've been pretty successful with it, so I hope I did well at Orlando Regionals. And having said that, let us find our first games of the week. I'm gonna use Greninja Talonflame. As you can see, I have Greninja as well. It is the Jirachi version with 1 Jirachi and 1 auxiliary line. And yeah, looks like we're up against a Mega Gardevoir deck, because Fairy plus Psychic can only mean, well, it could mean Hoopa plus the other Gardevoir. It's probably a combination of Gardevoirs. And could also mean Garbodor, but I doubt it. And now I have considered choosing to go second with this deck, and I feel like I don't want to take a mulligan. My hand is pretty okay, and I feel like, well, it's not exactly okay. I feel like there's a ton of room for, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, like getting a turn 2, wow, the splash. There's a splash right there. That's what I'm talking about. No Frogadier price, that's great. No Greninja price, no Greninja BREAK price, so that's pretty great to start us off with. 2 Talonflame in the deck. Wow, there's 2 Verseekers priced. And 2 Verseekers priced and 1 Talonflame. There's also, nope. There's also 1 Sycamore priced, so that's 4 out of our 6 prizers. There's 1 Bursting Balloon, no. Bursting Balloon, no. And 1 Energy priced, so 1 Energy, 2 Verseekers, 1 Sycamore, and something else. I don't know. Not a Froakie. Okay. So what was I saying? I forgot. I completely lost track of what I was saying. Okay. I'm gonna attach energy here. I'm not gonna attach the Bursting Balloons just yet, because as we can see, this is the Geomancy setup deck. I'm not gonna grab the Sycamore, and yeah. Well, see, this is where Talonflame is not exactly like my favorite card, you know, because I do have the energy on Talonflame, sure, but you still want to turn to water duplicates. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, you could heavily consider going second, or opting to go second with this deck. And now that I'm saying this, like, maybe if you always chose to go second so that you could attack with Talonflame, there's 2 scenarios here. Either you started Talonflame and you get to attack with Talonflame, or you start Froakie and you're at risk of getting benched. But if you played a heavier Wally's count, like if you up the Wally count to 2 or possibly to 3, that could help you out in getting a turn 1 water duplicates. So, I mean, I'd have to test that, and I'm pretty short on time at the moment, but maybe there's an argument for always going second, because I don't think I gained too much of an advantage for going first. Could have discarded the splash, definitely could have discarded the splash, could have attached the water to the, could have attached the, well, maybe that was a better play. Maybe I should have attached the splash to Froakie and simply used the Sycamore. I would have lost the Bursting Balloon, sure, I would have lost the Verseeker, I would have lost a water energy, but then I would have had access to whatever else I would have got off of the Sycamore, and probably would have increased the odds of finding the Frogadier. Although here I do have 4 Dive Ball, 1 more Level Ball, and the 4 Frogadier, so that's 9 cards out of 45 left where I can find the turn 2 water duplicates, and I get to do it with a splash energy, so that's not bad at all. Okay, my opponent geomancies immediately, so now even better, well, not even better, I'm gonna use the end so that I keep a few resources. I'm sure my opponent will prefer to keep using geomancy. Wow, okay, so My opponent did play the first stadium, so I am okay by playing this Faded Town. I unfortunately am not able to find the Frogadier, so I'm gonna do some damage to Esternias. I will find the Frogadier here, and I do have a Berserker for an N, right? But I think I'm gonna grab the Faded Town, simply because if my opponent, if my Faded Town sticks, I'm gonna have such an easy time in this match, such an easy time. Like, my opponent has a big hand, so you would maybe expect him to counter Stadium. Yep, there it is. So unless he ends me, then it really didn't matter what I grabbed. But I feel like that was the right play. Should be tempted into, there's a Berserker for a Sycamore, should be tempted into attaching Spirit Links and potentially Mega Evolving already. Discards a Mega Turbo, which is good news for us. And yeah, this is the deck that you guys saw last week. I mentioned this because I'm recording this before this deck has even come up. Okay, so there's another Max Elixir. And yeah, the Flash Arrow Mega Gardevoir is going to be potentially really problematic. The dual type Mega Gardevoir won't be, because it doesn't seem like my opponent is running Skyfield. So as long as I get up to Greninja Break, my opponent shouldn't be able to 1-hit KO. And yeah, my opponent using his time to set up, which makes sense. But between the extra damage counters, the Greninja Break abilities, potentially attacking with Talonflame, we should be good here. In that, yes, my opponent will get ahead quite a bit. That's very, very likely, but it's not gonna be the end of the world. And yeah, I'm just gonna play the Faded Town here. I could attach another Water Energy, but I don't feel like it. And I'm trying to think. I'm not gonna attack with Talonflame. Is it worth it to even use N right now? Because I have the Greninja in my hand, I have Energy, or I have the Break, I even have a Super Rod, and yeah, I'm not gonna end. Just gonna go directly for the water duplicates here, fill up my bench really nicely, and basically by having the Froakie down and having the splash, that guarantees I will have 4 Frogadier down, which is pretty much unheard of. And yeah, the Splash Energy, probably one of my favorite cards. Like, it goes Splash Energy and then Bursting Balloon. Okay, opponent decides to retreat and will take a KO with Shining Wind here. But I'm okay with that. Still no Mega Gardevoir. And my opponent uses N. Okay, so that makes sense. And that's fine. Because now, after his N, I still have 2 Berserkers in my deck in order to find more things. And I find a counter Stadium in case my opponent does counter it himself. And I have 2 Dive Balls. And yeah, he attaches a Spirit Link, but he should be very aware of going into Mega Gardevoir straight away, or right away rather, not straight away, that's a weird word. There's a Mega Gardevoir, okay. And basically, I don't even need to attack with Greninja. I don't even need to risk the Greninja. I can simply start attacking with Talonflame and set up even further. So I'm pretty content with my position here. I'm pretty content with my position. My opponent gets the over KO. I think the smarter choice would have been to hold on to the Gardevoir to prevent the extra damage counters, because he didn't counter Stadium. So the turn will end, he gets 20 damage, and then my turn ends, and that's 40 damage out of the blue, which he probably doesn't have like a too good a way to recover from. So my bench looks absolutely beautiful here, absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna set up 2 Greninjas here, definitely gonna set up 2 Greninjas, and like I said, I see absolutely no reason not to attack with Talonflame this turn. There's just no reason not to. Sure, I deal less damage, but I don't risk my Greninja, and between Talonflame's extra cards and the Bursting Balloon and the Stadium, like, I'm gonna be in a prime position here to simply destroy my opponents. So we're playing the slow and steady game, but I'm gonna use Aero Blitz here, and I'm gonna search for Well, yeah. 2 Greninja breaks? Is that what I'm gonna go for? Yeah, why not? 2 Greninja breaks. If my opponent KOs the Talonflame, I can promote the Greninja break without that energy. I can Sycamore. Odds of finding more energy are pretty decent, I would say. At least 1 to be able to use 1 Giant Water Shuriken. Okay, so my opponent, okay, that's fine. Still no counter Stadium, which is obviously good. Now though, yeah, maybe I should have kept the energy in my hand. That's fine. Generally fine. Okay, so 100 damage. If I use Giant Water Shuriken, he had the Lysander. They always have the Lysander. Okay, wow, my opponent has already used 4 Verse Seekers, so I'm definitely not. Okay, I'm going to end my opponent. I will give him an extra card, but I'm not at any risk really of him using Lysander once again. And the Stadium is still taking a toll on my opponent. He still hasn't found another Mega card for it though. But that's perfectly fine. An energy here would be really nice. And I do find it great. So if I use Giant Water Shuriken and then attack with Talonflame, that's 100 damage on the active. And then, yeah, I'm gonna go for a Greninja instead of the Frogadier because I do have the other Greninja break in my hand. Although odds are my opponent will not one-hit KO the Talonflame. Yeah, I'm just gonna Giant Water Shuriken the active. And then I attack with Talonflame, and then in between turns the Stadium takes place, and I get to KO the Mega Carnivore whilst finding myself 2 extra cards. 2 cards, to any 2 cards that I actually want. And there's only one energy in my discard pile, so what I'm gonna go for is, I'm gonna go for the Frogadier, and I'm gonna go for Sycamore? No. Well, I'm gonna go for an energy. That's what I'm gonna go for, an energy. Pretty decent setup, I would say. Pretty decent setup. Like, I generally cannot complain. We tie up the game, we get a Verse Seeker and a Wally off of our prices. We have energy to at least use Giant Water Shuriken, although I doubt my opponent will be able to KO the Talonflame. Or if he does, then the Stadium starts taking place once again, and yeah, should be pretty good here. Should be pretty good. There's another energy on the Gardevoir. There's the Spirit Link. Well, maybe he does. Okay, so he Sycamores. Probably will find the other Gardevoir. Counter Stadiums us, and finds the Ultra Ball. So I have a feeling that my opponent hasn't checked his deck, and he's gonna rage quit after he realizes the other Mega Gardevoir is prized. Yep, no shining thingy. Yeah, no Brilliant Arrow Gardevoir. And this is one of the things I commented last week. The 2-1 split is really inconsistent. Wow, he chooses to discard 3. Okay. Yeah, the 3-1 split is really inconsistent. I'd really rather play very nice top deck. I'd really rather play like a 4-3-1 line instead of a 3-2-1 line, because this happens. Like you almost always need a follow-up Shining Arrow Mega Gardevoir, and you hardly ever have it. So I can get a KO here if 120, 80, if off of the Sycamore I get another water energy. So, and the Stadium. I'm gonna place the damage counters there. I am going to retreat. I am going to place another 6 damage counters on the active Pokemon. And then I am going to play the Super Rod in order to put back 3 of those energy into the deck, increasing the odds of me finding whatever I want to find. And wow, I actually have not played a Sycamore. I actually have not played a Sycamore, so I am forced to end. And I don't find the stadium, but what I do find is a bursting balloon and an energy. So I can shadow stitching here in order to prevent any more shame in place. My opponent, well, I generally doubt. Maybe it's just better to use Moonlight Slash so that I get back the energy. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use Moonlight Slash. I'm gonna get back the energy just in case. My opponent shouldn't be able to Lysander his way out of this one. If he wants to attack me, he won't even be able to one-hit KO me, and the bursting balloon will KO him. If he doesn't attack me, that's also perfectly fine. And wow, never mind, he does have the Lysander, he will take a KO, but it's no big deal. Generally no big deal. I do have the ability to KO that Mega Gardevoir. I will not, however, be able to KO the benched Gardevoir, but I will bring down my opponent to 2 cards in his hand. And yeah, okay, so I'm gonna play the Level Ball. I don't want to play the Froakie down. I mean, I could. See, the thing is, if I use my ability before the end, I'm gonna draw less cards off of the end. And there's a victory. Yeah, like, even if that happened, odds were that my opponent was simply going to eventually lose. And I still had 4 Sycamore left in my deck, so even off of a 2-card end, odds were that I still had a good chance of drawing at least one of those. Or maybe even off of my prices, so... Although I don't think... Well, there was a Sycamore priced, so I had a 25% chance to get a Sycamore off of my prices, which is not bad. Now we are up against a fighting psychic type deck, and no one was favored. That's really weird. Maybe we're at exactly the same rating. I generally don't know. And I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. It's 6 p.m. It's a little early, I guess, but I am hungry. See, I have my sandwich right here. I don't make them, but I get 6 of those sandwiches. And yeah, here we are going going first once again. No Talonflame this time around, but we do have the Level Ball and the energy and the Frogadier to guarantee the turn to water duplicates. So I'm content with that. Now, I do have 2 Trainer's Mail, so I'm generally considering what I mentioned earlier. There's still a few days before Orlando, and it'd be kind of like Trevenant, I guess, where you want to find the Wally. I don't know. I'm also thinking of, it's either that version where you explode against the other deck perhaps, or there's also the possibility to include the 1/1 auxiliary. That's also a generally likely scenario, and genuine cards I'm considering. Okay, so 1 Froakie is priced, no Greninja priced, 1 break is priced, so 1 Froakie, 1 break, 1 Super Rod, 2 Faded Town, and something else. Why can't I ever figure out all 6 price cards? Okay, whatever. Okay, there's the Froakie. I'm not gonna attach the energy, simply because Level Ball could guarantee the 3rd. Okay, if I don't get anything, well, Level Ball could guarantee something else. I don't know. I'm gonna play another. Okay, so we are out of supporters. We don't have a supporter follow-up to this turn. We do not have a supporter follow-up for our turn, so that's not good news. That is definitely not good news. There's a Floatstone, there's a Birch, so hopefully my opponent flips Tails. That would decrease the odds of him getting a KO on Froakie. Great. And yeah, so the Psychic type, probably Hoopa. Not gonna shame it all of the 4 cards, I guess that's fair. But he needs a stadium and a strong energy and oh crap, that stadium really hurts. He needs yeah, he didn't get that, you know. Okay, so he's limiting my bench, but I can still water duplicates and simply get all Frogadiers out. Ideally, you want to have all 3 Frogadiers and the extra Froakie for later on in the game, but my opponent will probably whiff the KO next turn on the Frogadier, so I am perfectly fine with that. And I have Greninjas and a Dive Ball, so that I have follow-ups to this water duplicates. Having 2 stadium priced could be good or could not be good, because if I start taking prices quickly, then I can start putting pressure on my opponent and I can maybe find a stadium. Although I'm not gonna bench anything else really, so the stadium's not really doing much for my opponent. Does attach a second energy, so he can deal 40 damage, but he's really missing out. There's no side guard, and he's not recovering any energy. Oh, he dealt 60 because of the Regirox. That makes sense. Okay, and I do get an N, which is great. It's definitely great. Game seems to be frozen. Okay, not anymore. I will get 3 Greninjas into play, which is cool. And now I'm gonna evolve. Here's an important decision, which might seem very minor, but could be important in the long run. I have 2 Frogadiers, right, which I can evolve, but the one on the right, this one, evolved or came into play through water duplicates. The other has a Froakie below it, so we know we have 1 Froakie in the prices. So if my opponent used a Lysander and KO'd either Frogadier, which I did not evolve, it's better it's better for me that he KOs the Frogadier that has the Froakie below it, because I can use Super Rod and recover the Froakie and the Frogadier and then play down that Froakie. Whereas if I let him get a KO on the non-Froakie Frogadier, when I use Super Rod, sure, I get back the Frogadier, but I still don't have a Froakie available to me in order to evolve into the Frogadier. So it seems like a very minor decision. Wow, I just drew 5 energy. Interesting. Interesting. Very nice Pokemon. Very nice. Okay. I guess I'll attach this one because I'm gonna Shadow Stitch him. So yeah, it seems very minor, but if the game draws out and I don't find the Froakie off of my prices, it could be a decision that could come into play. So it's something very minor, but that could potentially be really important. And my opponent is playing Crushing Hammer for some reason. I don't see why you would play that in that deck. He's gonna play his 3rd Birch in a row. So guys, don't play Birch. Like, first play 4 Sycamore, 4 N, and then if you still have space, play Skylass, play Teammates, play other things, but don't play Birch, and don't play Enhanced Hammer in a fighting type deck. Please don't play Enhanced Hammer. Okay, so my opponent has gotten very unlucky as well. He got tails on both hammers, and he didn't get the max elixir, and now we are going to go absolutely crazy with our abilities. Gonna be able to get 2 prices off of the Shaman and KO the active Carpink, which is absolutely nuts. Thanks to the fact that we drew so many energy. Thanks to that. Okay, so I'm evolving the non-damaged Greninjas. That in theory makes my Greninja more gives it more longevity. I'm gonna retreat, go into the other Greninja. So I guess it was very good that we got so many energy off of our prices. Let's see what we can actually get. And there's the victory. Yeah, my opponent had no chance, absolutely no chance. I hope I face a lot of Regirock Carpink decks at Orlando Regionals. Although it's not too likely. So yeah, What else? What was I talking about that was important? Yeah, the going second scenario. Still having a lot of thoughts, because if you go second, you give your opponent a chance to end you. He can use max elixirs. He can start using Shaman. He can attach Spirit Links. He can attach Floatstone to Garbodor. Although, because you are very slow, that's really not a huge factor, if you will. Okay, so we do mulligan here. I don't know. Something I'm gonna be thinking about. Today is Saturday, 8th of October, so I still have a little under a week to think things through. To think about the 1-1 artillery line and the... Okay, we're not going first. And we didn't get Talonflame. So this is worst case scenario. Yeah. See, the big issue here is the fact that if I use Dive Ball to find the Froakie, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble because my opponent can KO the Froakie. Or rather, I get the Froakie, but then, thank you. That end is glorious, I hope. But then, if I go for the Frogadier, I have to hope my opponent doesn't have an energy. Although, I guess I still have the chance to paralyze through Bubble, but he already has the Zoroark Floatstone down. But I did get the end. So, in an ideal world, I would... In an ideal world, I would find not a Seeker, but rather a Level Ball. I would have top decked a Level Ball. I still need to find a basic Pokemon, and I will find a basic Pokemon. Okay, there's the Wally. That's nice. There's the Wally. Okay, so I'm gonna dive for another Froakie, obviously, otherwise I'm gonna lose. No Frogadier price, which is great. 1 Greninja BREAK in prizes, 1 Talonflame in prizes, 1 Level Ball, 1 Super Rod, 1 Seeker, 1 Stadium in prizes, and once again 5. What's the 7th? The 6th card? I don't know. Whatever. Maybe Bursting Balloon? Yeah, Bursting Balloon. Because I have 3 right now, so the 6th had to be in the prizes because it wasn't in the deck. Okay, now here I'm thinking of I definitely rather, because I don't have the Stadium. I think I'd rather him KO the Froakie. Nah, is that right? Would I let him KO either Froakie? Would I let him do that? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't know. The issue is the Stadium here. No, I'd rather, never give up prizes. The less prizes you can give up, okay, I flip tail, so it doesn't matter, but the less prizes you give up against a deck such as Viltal, perfect. If he uses Lysander to avoid the Bursting Balloon, I guess that's best case scenario, if you will. If he does KO the active, he gets 6 damage counters placed onto it, and then I can Wallies. I have the energy, I can water duplicates, fill up my bench. I will keep the Froakie in my hand, then the active Frogadier will get KO'd, and I can then play down the Froakie. Yeah, we're good. We're good here. We are definitely good. Weapon fills up his bench. The Fright Night Veltal is no threat. Touches the energy and uses Delinquent. So that's good and not good. Not good because we're gonna lose the Bursting Balloons. Ugh, this is so annoying. This is definitely very annoying. Yeah. Ugh, this is so freaking annoying. I think, yeah, this is going to make me go for a, yeah, I'm gonna lose the bursting balloons and the wallies. I can't lose the energy, and I do have an N in my discard pile, so that can give me the Frogadier. But now I'm gonna have to find it through a Dive Ball or a Level Ball or drawing the Frogadier. But no Stadium is good as well. No Stadium is good because I can play down the Froakie, and if I get the turn, what? Oh, you're kidding me. You have got to be freaking kidding me. Come on. Wow. Like, who needs... It's like my opponents choose their freaking cards. Okay. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. How does he have the other stadium immediately? Ugh. I don't like you, opponent. I generally don't like you. And I'm gonna even give him extra cards. This game is so unfair sometimes. This game is absolutely so unfair. Because sure, I get the Frogadiers, but I obviously don't get the counter stadium. So, gonna water duplicates. I'm only gonna find 2. I guess the fact that we drew this one plays out into our favor. We will lose the Frogadier and the Froakie, but that's fine. Should be able to handle ourselves with 3 Greninjas in this match. And especially because he himself is making it so that Zoroark is not a threat. And the Yveltal DX is not going to have an easy time 1 KOing Greninja. So, should be okay here. Should be okay. Yeah, we should be okay. Even though we're struggling, and the first few turns have been very shaky, we are good here. Okay, so Trainer's Mail. I hope I face a ton of Dark Decks as well in Florida. A ton of Dark Decks. Max Elixir, that's fine. It's not going to the active. Unless he uses Floatstone and blah blah, but like not Floatstone, stand-in with Zoroark and tries to power up a single Yveltal with a ton of energy. But the active one is already damaged, so that's pretty good. Hits 1 Max Elixir, whiffs the other one. That's fair. Man, how do these guys do this? 3 Max Elixirs in your hand, just why not? And decides to power up the Fright Night Yveltal. That makes absolutely no sense. That shows that my opponent doesn't really know the matchup, because Fright Night Yveltal is not gonna do anything. It's terrible. 3 energy for 60 damage. Oh, you're freaking kidding me. How do these guys pick their hands? What the heck? Man, you're killing me. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Freaking delinquent. Okay. Energy? No. Please let me hit Greninjas. Please let me hit Greninjas. There we go. There we freaking go. Okay. Man, this is so annoying. Trainer's Mail into my last bursting balloon, which I will definitely happily take. Happily take. I'm gonna play the Level Ball. There's nothing I can't grab, but because of the fact that I'm gonna use Sycamore as well next turn, and the last Froakie is in my prices, I literally lose nothing. And now, I'm gonna use Moonlight Slash, that's for sure. I will return the energy, that's for sure. Basically, if my opponent attacks me with the Yveltal EX, he gets himself KO'd. If he doesn't, he's not gonna deal too much damage. Zoroark is not really a big threat. there's the immediate Sycamore, so I'm really happy to see that. There was another chance of Delinquent, but no Stadium for now. If I had gotten a Stadium off of my Sycamore, out of my tilt, I probably would have played it down, but I'm genuinely glad I did not. Now, yeah, the most damage my opponent deals here is 70 damage with Zoroark or 90 damage with White Cyclone. And he KOs himself with Greninja. If he doesn't attack my Greninja, that's even better. Why? How do they do this? Every turn they get the cards they freaking need. Every turn. How? Thankfully, he's not gonna KO. Oh. Man, I hate this game. I genuinely hate this game. Okay, that's a good top tick. That's a good top tick. Okay. So, I'm gonna attach the Splash Energy to the active Greninja. I'm gonna Mega Evolve. No, I'm gonna Break Evolve, if you will. I will use Giant Water Shuriken. KO the benched Yveltal EX. For 2 prizes. I need the Froakie and the Super Rod. Oh wow. That's probably the best 2 prizes I could have asked for in this situation. So, I'm gonna use the Super Rod. I'm gonna put back a Frogadier and the Break and an Energy. No, and a Froakie, I guess. Because Energy I can get back with Fisherman, Seeker Fisherman. Yeah, there's gonna be a ton of energy in my discard pile already though. So there's a Sycamore. I find the Frogadier, hopefully here. Wow, so many Verse Seekers now. I guess I'll grab the Lysander. But this is horrible. Not finding another Greninja is not good. Okay, I'm just gonna Moonlight Slash and return the energy. Deal 80 damage. Next turn I can Giant Water Shuriken thanks to my Verse Seeker into Fisherman, and then use another Moonlight Slash, get a KO on the Yveltal. Yveltal will deal maximum 100 damage, which is good. Zoroark deals 70, which is a follow-up KO, though. It is a follow-up KO. But maybe I could play around with a Lysander and Lysander this Yveltal and use Shadow Stitching. Oh, you're kidding. Wow. Okay, Zoroark Break can do 2 things. It can Shadow Stitch to prevent me from using my Giant Water Shuriken, or oh gosh. This is just absolutely nuts. Who is this guy and what is that? Ugh. This is so stupid. My hand is stupid. Ugh. Okay, he has 2 cards in his hand. We have not seen a single Darkness Energy. Double Colorless Energy. But there's no reason for him not to run any. And seeing how we are currently running, I would generally not be surprised if he actually has okay, I'm gonna use Fisherman here, so I get a ton of energy back. The issue here is that Zoroark Break could potentially be an issue, but I still have to make it so that I can guarantee the KO on the active Yveltal EX in the following turn. So I'm gonna use Moonlight Slash and I'm not gonna return the energy, so that if he does KO me, well, he will KO me. Right now he deals 90 damage. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, he needs another energy to KO me. Zora Break doesn't KO me. If he does KO me, I get the whole line back, which is obviously good. Although this guy, yep, see, I get the whole line back, but I don't get a Froakie back. So I can't play down the Froakie immediately back. Lysander and Floatstone. Oh my gosh. Ah. Gonna save my comments. I'm not gonna say anything because we can still win here. But it's very frustrating that my opponent keeps getting every single turn the cards he needs to make it so that he can still win. It's very freakishly frustrating. Very freakishly frustrating. Okay. Oh. Super Rod. Gonna put back those 3, and I am going to Wally's. See how I'm not playing down my stadium? That's because we know he has the Delinquent. And here, sure. See, there's 4 Greninjas. There's also that I'm drawing terribly and my opponent gets everything he needs every single turn. If things were going just a little bit different, just a teeny tiny bit differently, we would be winning so badly. Like, this game would have been over such a long time ago. Glad that my opponent misplayed. Those 2 prizes are the worst prizes ever possible. But I'm glad that my opponent misplayed and didn't use Y Cyclone, because Y Cyclone would have gotten the KO as well. Okay, and he can copy Shadow Stitching, sure, but Moonlight Slash is also a 3-hit KO, so we should be good here. Watch me draw crap. So ridiculous. So freakishly ridiculous. And I even get a Frogadier so that I can't really turn to water duplicates. Just water duplicates. Oh my gosh. This is so horrible. This is so freakishly horrible. I need to top deck now out of this freaking situation. I have so many. I have Sycamore, I have First Seeker. Yeah, I don't have too many outs though. Don't have too many outs. But I have 4 Greninja. And I still have Dive Ball. 1 Dive Ball. Yeah. My deck is full of crap. It's full of Talonflame, it's full of stadiums. And it doesn't help that I drew the absolute worst possible prize cards. Okay. The Greninja Break is cool, because that prevents him from KOing me. He can't copy Moonlight Slash to KO me, and if he keeps copying Shadow Stitching, he will get KO'd. And yeah, he needs to keep copying Shadow Stitching. So I will get a prize card. But if I don't find another Greninja, I'm going to lose here. I have 2 Sycamore, 1 N, which doesn't really help. Let's not count it. 2 Sycamore, 1 Dive Ball, 1 versus Seeker, and 3 more Greninja as outs. 7 out of 25. That's a little over 25%. before the end, that was the 25%. The Greninja Break was one of the outs I really needed to hit. This is a very scrappy game, but it's really, like, the fact that it's so late in the game and I don't have a Frogadier set up is ridiculous. Why? I hate this. My opponent is too freaking lucky. This is ridiculous. This is freaking ridiculous. Ugh. Ah, thank you. Freaking thank you. My opponent is too freaking lucky. The only reason he's still in the game is because he's ridiculously lucky. I'm not gonna bench the Frogadier because that opens up a target for him. I'm gonna Moonlight Slash here. And now, if he doesn't Shadow Stitching, then I can potentially find my other Greninja Break, but I'm probably not gonna find it. Well, I can't. No, never mind. I do have a Seeker into Wally. Don't let him have an end. Don't let my opponent have an end. Let him whip one freaking turn off of the cards he needs. This game has been very frustrating, obviously. Like, every turn, whenever the game is just gonna tilt into my favor, he gets out of it, and he gets out of it, and he has the escape rope, and he has the Nurse, and he has the Seeker off of the 2-card hand, and he blocked. Okay? Sure, I did top deck the Break, sure I did top deck the Sycamore, but before that, I should not have been in this position. I should have had 2 other Greninjas set up. The fact that I couldn't find another Greninja was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so he uses stand-in, which doesn't make a difference really. Touches a TCG to Darkrai. What? You're kidding me. You are freaking kidding me. My opponent's hands are ridiculous. It's like he handpicks what he gets. Wow. Opponents in Orlando, please don't run this hot. Please don't run this hot. Wow. I'm just in shock. I'm genuinely in shock. And now, yeah, sure. I guess that doesn't really matter. I have the win here. Okay, I do. Nope, never mind. Because he got rid of the Zoroark. I hate this game. That actually opens up the possibility for him to win this game. That actually opens up the possibility for him to win this game, which is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Top deck the Break. Yeah, that's nice. That's freaking nice. Now, see, the thing is, if I don't KO the Zoroark, I just don't want my. I generally don't want my opponent to end me, but he's going to end me. I know he's going to end me. So what do I do here? Do I expect the end and therefore use versus Seeker Fisherman? Is that what I do here? Is that my play? I think it is. I versus Seeker Fisherman so that my deck is full of energy. Whoops. Well, it's still full of energy. And I Moonlight Slash, but I keep the energy attached. I keep the energy attached. Although If he has another Fighting Fury belt, that was a mistake. If he has a Fighting Fury belt, I'm just gonna whatever. The only potential chance he has is he retreats, or he has a Fighting Fury belt. He shouldn't have any more energy left though. Like, not Darkness 6, 7, 8, yeah. At most, he has one more. At most. I should have the win here. Yeah, there's a TCG. If he retreats and attacks with a Fright Night Veltal, that's game. Because I Giant Water Shuriken and then Moonlight Slash for 140. I also did that to the other Veltal, or Bleach Black Spear, whatever. And if he stayed with Darkrai, then I KO'd him as well. Whew. Man, this game was just absolutely ridiculous. Wii, that was close, but only because of certain difficult scenarios, between prizes, between my shaky middle game, etc, etc. So, still though, Greninja. This is what I played most likely. I hope I did well. I hope you guys rooted for me. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Wednesday, where we get to feature Gyarados, which is also, I guess, one of the sleeper decks of the format. And if not, I will see you on Friday, where we get to feature Raticate Break. It's finally Raticate Break turn, which I think is a little more viable than Pidgeot from last week. So yeah, it's gonna be it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, guys. Like, the English videos get very few likes. It only takes a second. If you've made it through to the whole video, please leave a like. It really helps out the channel. Let's try and hit 50 likes on every video. It's double the amount that I'm getting right now, but it generally really helps the channel, and I would really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.